So you're breaking down how I was able to catch these trades. This is 1 into 28 and 1 into 35 on US30, one of my favorite pairs. So let's get going. Let me delete everything so that I can explain from scratch how I was able to get these trades. So let me remove everything. So firstly, during the beginning of the week, I always go to my daily time frame to look at what we have, and from the daily time frame, we can see that we can say the market is in an uptrend. We can say the trend of the market is clearly bullish. You can say the trend of the market is bullish, right? So after look at this, we need to mark out the most recent highlight, the next drawn liquidity, and mark out which is this one I'm anticipating for as my next drawn liquidity. So I scale back down to the daily time frame. In daily time frame, this is our swing high here. That's our external liquidity, external drawn liquidity. So, and here we can have this one external big break of structure to the upside, then followed by this small internal break of structure. So as per that, this is our other block. That's the last. Based on normal SMA, this is our other block. The last selling candle before price eventually skyrockets to the upside. So I was anticipating price to move to react in from this zone. So after marking out this zone, here, inside I'm expecting a reaction from price. I scaled down quickly to the 4-hour time frame. Inside the 4-hour time frame now, this zone here is what I'm anticipating for reaction from price. This are liquidity here. This is not liquidity. This is like a range, and down here we have a fair value that this are range, and you can see what price did. So price collected a low of this range. After this, price eventually gave us a clean shift in market structure. That's it there from price collected and broke a 4-hour structure. You can see after price completed this pullback, price came down, collected a low that fell that, and targeting us a break of structure to the upside, right? So after this break of structure, union high followed by this the last internal low. And remember, price can still break this low. Price breaking this low doesn't mean the trend has changed back to bearish, because look at this is the entire move that caused the break of structure to the upside, like this, followed by this pullback. Then all these are internal moves before price eventually broke structure to the upside. So price can still violate this zone here. Price can still violate this zone to come back and react from here or down here before price can thereby continue its movement to the upside. So price violating this zone here, this internal break of structure, doesn't mean the trend has changed back to bearish. You need to make sure you know that. So the next day I marked this out on the 4-hour time frame. Based on normal SMC, this is the other block here. We are going to be waiting paired with a big imbalance where we are going to be waiting for the reaction of price inside there. And right inside that zone, there are zones with these are the key levels that I observed. Firstly, was this one, followed by this. Then I scaled down back to the 15-minute. That I would like to see if I was something clearer. Nothing clear. 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes, we are good here. This is a breaker block based on normal SMC. This is a breaker. This is a breaker block here. When normal SMC, they are going to mark it this way, and that's a breaker block. So from there, I marked it out. I marked out this resistance. This is a resistance turned to support. And this RBS zone, I marked it out. And this was my liquidity. This was the morning, this 6 a.m. low of 6 a.m. So I place the limit here, putting my on this next key level here, targeting at this is my first target. Followed by this other swing high up here. So we'll have it there. Then today, that's the 24th of December. After we had this break of structure last night. I woke up in the morning. I had to look for the next move that I'm anticipating for the market. And what I saw is, look at when price was making this pullback. This is a breaker block we had here. This is a break of structure to the downside internally. And you can see that price gave a reaction. Price tampered with this zone here. This zone here, price tampered with this zone, which is our breaker block, the next breaker block. Price tampered with that zone, right? Even from the 4 hour, the zone is clear enough. That's an engulfing MSNR. You can see cleanly. So I marked it out and scale down to the 1 hour. 1 hour will still have the same alignment from the 1 hour time frame. So I marked this zone out quickly in the night. Then I will tell price to engineer enough liquidity in the morning. So that's New York, London Open. So I place a limit here and my SL right there. That's also my target here. My 30-minute time frame. My SL was just above this key level. Okay, this is where my SL was. Okay, that's it. And so that's how I was able to catch the trades by patiently waiting. You can see the alignment of everything. Break of structure, as inducement and POI, break of structure, inducement POI, you execute. Once you have break everything aligns, make sure you make sure you have the correct bias. Anything you're doing in the market, just make sure you have the correct bias. Once you have a good bias, then look for an entry. Just follow these steps, and that's it. So hopefully tomorrow price will be arrive at TP and take profit. So that's how we're able to capture these trades. You need to be attentive. You need to be patient enough. You need to be patient enough to wait for price on your key level. You need to be patient enough to wait for price to come to you. And I only trade New York session. I have a good win rate. That's why I only trade New York session. I don't trade London session. That's why you can see most of my trade. You can see the execution time. That's New York. That's to be almost the same time of price arriving my key level.